funny if you guys only could have seen what just happened. I was trying to get my foot cushion and it was pushed way back because you know how Onyx always squeezes under here. So it's like ticking down 5 seconds and my head is underneath my desk. I'm way over there and I'm like, trying to get out from underneath the desk. Just another day. Just another day. Hi, Laveda. Hi, Sue. Good morning, Brioni. Hi, Treese. Hello, Mac. I did. Thank you. Hello, Miss Edie. How are you, Miss Edie? Hi, Tina. Hi, Joy. Hi, Tanya. How are you? Hi, Sandy Kling. I don't know what's happening. Hi, Chris. Hello. Happy hump day, y'all. Happy hump day, y'all. Screen looks a little different. Hi, Valerie. How are you? Hello, Miss Connie. So I haven't seen you guys since Creative Hour, which was so fun. There was quite a few of you that showed up, which I thought was absolutely amazing. We had over 100 people on. So thank you all for showing up and showing out. Hi, Deborah. How are you? Hi, Jeanette. Jeanette, I remembered your birds. Also, I hope you all had a nice long weekend. We had a good weekend. We didn't really do a whole lot, try to catch up on stuff. Monday, I wasn't here because it was the housekeeper Monday, which was really funny because the boss came. And if you think about it, you know why the boss is here. The boss has never been here before. I've only ever talked to her on Messenger. So she was basically coming to evaluate what was the business, right? So by the time that she left, she had asked me about if I wanted more help because she's like, you have so many rooms upstairs, you have so many rooms downstairs. Maybe we do a room here and there and help you organize or whatever you want. And I'm like, organize? Did you say organize? But it was kind of cute because she was like, Terry, what do? You have a business, I see. And I was like, how do you explain this niche thing that we do with rice paper, right? It's very hard if people aren't very crafty. So I was trying to explain to her, like, these are the things that I make. So she actually picked up a rice paper and she was like, so what would you do with something like this? So I was showing her like the pieces. And so I said, if you want to organize, I said, there's a lot of organization you can help me with. And she was like, yeah. So anyways, it was really nice to meet her. It was pretty funny though. Yeah, Megan. Oh, I have some news. Hi, Deb. How are you? Hi, Sandy Triplet. Good to see you. Hi, Nancy Church. Thank you, Valerie. It was kind of nerve-wracking. I think it was nerve-wracking for both of us because, like, she's the new owner. She's really great. I have a great relationship with Megan, but if you guys notice, I was trying to speak properly. I wasn't speaking Terry talk because I was trying to behave, but yet still be myself. On the other hand, she was super nervous because she doesn't like getting on camera, number one. Plus, all of the tech stuff is all new as far as what we do. So it was just very funny. It was funny, but we had a really good time. Hi, Diane Dunkelman. Hi, Mary Sharkey. So I do have some news for you guys. Megan is going to be on my page on Friday because she needs to learn how to do the wheel. And I said, well, my folks are used to the wheel. Because we used to do the wheel a lot on my page. I said, now we do bingo. I said, but we can definitely do the wheel, and I could do like some Happy Mail. And she was like, I can sponsor Happy Mail. I have stuff. And I was like, okay. And she goes, I can do that. And I was like, okay. So Megan is going to be here on Friday. We're going to teach her how to do the wheel, because she's got to do what I do, type in the names and all the stuff on the wheel on Saturday. And then she's going to sponsor some Happy Mail for you guys, which is So she's like, if you have a project that you're doing and, you know, we want to put something together with the project that you're doing, I'm thinking in my head, ooh, that means I got to plan what I'm doing. Oh boy. It's like, oh boy. Oh, thanks, Connie. Organization does not compute in my brain. It's like a tornado. Hi, Miss Edie. Thank you for spreading the love and blessings. Plan, girl, plan. I know. I'm just like, ooh, yeah, I got to plan a project again. I just planned a project, which, by the way, you guys, the purse is so super cute. I shortened the handle. I still need to get a little brooch for right here, but look at how cute. I was able to finally clean up. You guys know my OCD was popping because of all the paint and stuff, but look at how pretty the top is. But yeah, so yeah, I'll plan a project so that way you guys can have good, happy mail. I don't know what she's planning or if it's one thing or a couple of things, but we'll figure it out. Hi, Helen. We will help her get used to being live. And yeah, because, you know, and you guys are going to be, you know, it here. I was telling her on DQ, it's businessy. You know, we got to be a little bit more proper. But come over to my page with my friends. We don't got to be so proper. We can, you know, we can do all the things. So today, if you guys seen what I posted earlier today, I did post Yvetta's next kit for her. It's got a really long name, y'all. Vintage Treasure something. So this kit is super duper 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 affordable. I thanks, Deborah. So I'm going to show you what's in the kit. Again, it's very, very affordable and not a whole lot of pieces. But if you do want to add things to the kit, I did actually do a drop down menu so you can add a couple of things if you're needing like the paint or the glue or the whatever. Sue yelled at me because, well, not yet. Well, yeah, Sue yells at me. Let's just be honest. She said that nobody knows that these are in my store because I don't use it, and it's true. But you guys are going to need like some modeling paste or some structure paste. I do have Finnabare's little squeezy tubes in my store that I don't use. I'm sorry, but they've been in the store forever. So if you need to add, and they're very cost friendly. I think they're like maybe $4, if that. I don't know. But anyway, so you guys need that. They're in the store in the little squeezy tubes if you don't want like a bigger one from Pintart. Is Megan taking over Creative Hour? If she's firing me, I don't know. I don't think so. No. Yeah, Megan did Creative Hour with me so that I can get her comfortable because on Saturday is Decoupage Queen's 5th birthday. And so she has to do what I do some of the times. Like we have to swap with every other creator because there's no way that I can bounce from one live to the other seamlessly. I need somebody else to do that. Usually it's Yvetta, but because of the time that we are starting, it's way too late. It's already going to be nighttime, and by the time we stop, it's going to be like early morning, like 3 a.m. for Yvetta, and that's just not reasonable to ask someone to do. So Megan said that she would do it, and so we've got to give her hands-on stuff because it's very hard to learn when you're like, oh, you just got to do this and you got to do that, like. And we talked about it. I'm the same way. She's the same way. Like, I need to push the buttons. I need to see what's going to happen. So because of the birthday, we had like a gap in the Creative Hour schedule. So I figured, well, I'll create and then she can kind of test the waters. Now on Friday, she'll actually launch in my stuff. She'll launch and do all the things that she needs to do by herself on Saturday. So. But yeah, unless she's firing me. All right, let's get my desk on the screen really quickly and let me show you what's in the kit. Again, like I said, it's not a whole lot, but it's very reasonable. You're welcome, Tina. Tina, you know something I don't know? Yeah, because you guys know, like, especially with technology, it's like, oh, go here, click there, go here, click there. But unless you can actually make it happen, it's like, you want me to what? What does it do? So, and it's scary for her because, you know, she's used to a different platform with EJG. They don't use the same platform that I use and DQ uses. So it's like a whole nother kind of animal. And to be like, here, do it is just a whole. And then now we're introducing the wheel and it's like, ugh. Yeah, right. Her and her mom were asking where's Terry today on their live. Hi, Patricia. Thank you. Tina, yes, Tina, you know I always will do special listings for you. So, okay, so Tina's asking about the mold. You are going to need this mold. This is Katja's Majestic Flourish. I am sold out in the store right now, but I have more coming. So if you want your own mold, they should be here. They always bring me stuff in 2 days, y'all. So because it was a long weekend, though, I'm assuming it'll be here by Friday, if not Saturday. So if you want your own mold, I will actually have the molds in store. They were in store, and they just got bought like the other day. That someone bought the last one. So you are going to need. You're not going to need these pieces. I just had extra. These will go in my, my giveaway bag. You're going to need this piece here and the flower. Okay, so this will be a casting that will be in the kit. You guys who have bought my kits before know I am super picky about my molds. I don't have over pour and all that other funky stuff. My molds are very clean, so you will have one casting. You'll need one of the flower and one of the big one. That will be inside of your kit. Hey, Ashley. Hi, Phyllis. Hi, Michelle Chastain. So if you want the mold, I did not put a listing for the casting, but maybe I should do that just in case somebody wants just the casting. I can add a drop down for that. Okay. Then also along with that, you are going to need one of the Dainty and the Queen Delicate Flower rice paper. So again, very, very pretty. So you will have one of these in the kit as well. So you'll have a casting, you'll have the paper. I'm super excited about this because you are also going to have one of my most very favorites, a white gold Finnabair Metallique wax. You guys know I've been loving my white gold. You're also going to get a wax paste Pentart transparent. Okay, so this is just the transparent. You will have that as well. You will get the, did I not grab it? Oh, haha, I put stuff on it. I will be decanting for you the Annie Sloan wax in not white, black. Wow, that would have been a disaster. So you are going to get a decanted amount of the Annie Sloan black wax. Or if you have the Pentart black wax, you can use that. I will just tell you that wax isn't as black as the Annie Sloan, and those of you who have gotten the kits before have had a decant of this, and it's amazing. So you will get a decanted amount of that. And then along with that, you are going to get some hardware. Now, I ordered, and they will be here today because someone complained because the last time that we did the box, I didn't include screws. I intentionally didn't include the screws because the screws were too long for that MDF box, and had somebody have screwed it in, it would have went all the way through and been a disaster, but somebody complained. So you will have these screws in individual little Ziploc bags inside of here, and I will label what goes to what. So you are going to have 2 of these. which are super pretty. So these are meant to go on the sides of the box, right, of her treasure box. If you see the picture that's on my website or on my post today, these are what's on the side. You're going to have the small handle for the front, and then feeties. So you will also have a set of 4 for the feeties. So you will have a little bag of hardware. Inside the hardware bag will be screws for each one of these. So don't yell at me. I'm sending screws. Deborah, that's what I was talking about. I do have structure paste and I do have modeling paste in my store. Texture paste, structure paste, modeling paste. It's the Finnabair squeeze tubes. So you can use this. It's in the drop down. If you want actual Pintart structure paste, am I out? I didn't think I was out. I thought I had structure paste. If I am out, I can order some. But if only time was. Hi, Kay. Hi, Carrie. How are you? So I do have structure paste and modeling paste in my store. I just don't think anybody has realized it because, as Sue pointed out, I have not used these. And also, I don't think you guys realize I have quite a few of these tubes like this, 3D, gloss, heavy gesso, white, black, texture paste, modeling paste. So anyway, so that's your kit, y'all. And then so basically, again, very affordable kit. You are going to have to source your own little treasure box or box, whatever you want to use. But it's going to be a very affordable kit. And yes, I am going to be having to do castings again. But at least it's not 7 million. So I'm not very mad at her. Just only a tiny, teensy bit. No, I'm not mad at her at all. So, Tina, remind me and I will do a special listing for you. All right. So I'm so excited. We have this box that we need to fill up. And then I forgot I have a ton of these shake 'em up, shake 'em up, shake 'em up, shake 'ems from the mixed palette, which I can bring these into the store. So I tossed around the idea of maybe making this a shaker underneath. I don't know. We'll see. But look, I have a ton of shake 'ems. So maybe we'll do something with that. But we have a lot to do. Well, a lot. We have, some stuff to do to this. Now, I will tell you something that's aggravating me is because I did this box when the clay was still wet. You see how we have separation here? So, and then we actually have separation here because the clay wasn't dry, so it shrunk. And now there is paint that's missing in these areas, and so that's aggravating. So I've got to fix that. But more importantly, I'm super excited because we got the Hardy clay. Hardy clay. Hi, Carol. What did you say? Extra castings for Ashley or how wonderful? Oh, how wonderful. So we have the Hardy clay. I was showing Sue something that I made with the Hardy clay that I love it so very much. I know it's not like everybody's cup of tea, but I made this little, I don't know, dinosaur egg and claw. I made all of this is on an MDF backing, but all of the texture and the claw itself is all with the Hardy clay. And yes, it is in my Amazon store, but if you can see how cool the clay works, and it's very moldable and everything that I was looking for to do these branches the other day. So I'm excited to do it. I'm excited to play with some Hardy clay. So yeah. All right, let's get this going. Hi, Vicky. Hardy. Soft clay. It's Hardy clay. Ashley, actually, hi, Terry. You're sitting at Lowe's. Actually, I have a ton of scraps here I'm so aggravated with scraps. I have a ton of scraps here. Laveda, I forgot to put this in your box, so your next order I will put that in your box. I know you wanted this for like journaling or something, but I have scraps over here and over there, like you can see where I'm pointing. Oh, my banana daiquiris, Ashley. These scraps are driving me bananas. Bananas. And I just keep saying, but I love my Ashley. I love my Ashley. She wants the scraps. I love my Ashley. Keep the scraps. And then I say, the scraps. All right, let's open this. The clay I used on the box. Oh, it's the only other clay that I use is the Jovi clay, which is in my store. So you can see the texture of this is very, very different than what I use with the other. Oh, heck to the no. See what happens when you clean up, y'all? Did I put the wire back? Oh, please. Y'all, I wouldn't even know where to start looking for this wire. Oh, good. I was going to say, if it's not in the drawer that it belongs in, we may be doing this without wire. But, lucky me. I have a brain today. All right, so, hi, good evening, Jill. How are you? There you go. Sue just put in the links for you. All right, so let's try this again. Oh my gosh. I feel like every time I clean up this area, and it's just here, the working area, I feel lost. I can't find anything. And it's just not cool. It's not cool at all. All right, I know for a fact I cannot hold that. So let's leave that out. Now you could just get thicker wire so you don't have to, do all of this. But I'm just using what I have, and actually the jewelry one that I use is even thinner than this. So all right. So did you guys do anything for the weekend? Did you have like any cookouts or anything? Did you do anything fun or not? Or did you have the day? Well, a lot of you always have the day off, but did you do anything exciting? We really didn't do anything. Like I said, I try to get some stuff caught up, just like around the house kind of thing. And I'm kind of excited to see what she means, because she's like, you have the family room, you have the laundry room upstairs, the master bedroom, this room and that room, and then what about down here and this? And I'm like, do you see all the things that you're pointing to down here? Like the family room and the master bedroom all upstairs, that's one thing. But do you see around here what you're pointing at? And like the craft room is a whole nother kind of monster, because it has like the shipping supplies and everything else in there. Yeah. You just tell us whatever you need. maybe we'll just do 3 rooms every other week, you know, different 3 rooms. I'm like, hey, man, have at it. But then I have to be kind of careful because you guys know that I'm also a weirdo and, you know, I have to have things a certain kind of way. So I don't know. I more than likely won't let her over, not let her, that sounds rude, but I probably won't have her in this area much. Because, you know, there's a lot of store stuff over here and I have things the way I want it. So, all right. So, I don't know, you know, exactly how that's going to work out, but, you know, like the Tupperware cabinet can always be reorganized. You know what I mean? All right, so all I'm doing right now is just getting some basic shapes, whoops, wrong one, just to mold the clay on. It doesn't have to be perfect. I just need something for um, to be inside of the clay so that way I can mold it and fold it and do all the things that I want to do to it. All right, let's just use a couple of those right now. I already know we're going to need to make more, but we may not need wire in all of it. So, hi, Shonda. How are you? You worked on organizing. My daughter from Cleveland came in town and her family and other daughter and her family got together and we out for dinner and celebrate upcoming birthdays. Oh, how very cool. Everything you do is exciting. Oh my goodness. And you can see there isn't like that clay, like dust, if you will, that comes on your hands because this is very different, right? The texture of this is a lot different than what we use with the Jovi. Oh my goodness. You see how nicely it plays? It's just like, yeah, where do you want to put me? Okay, I'll go wherever you want me to go, ma'am. All right. Obviously, it doesn't need to be that thick. I just need it to get around there. And then as I squeeze and push out, um, we'll thin it out. And then also, we're going to, you know, make it so that it looks like it's wood and not just like, you know, a spaghetti roll of clay. But you already see how much easier it is. Look at that. So much easier than um, using just regular clay. Doesn't even matter if it was Jovi or DOS or, you know, whatever else. You know, let's fold that back over the point. So yeah, I have no idea what we're going to do on Friday, but I'm gonna need to figure that out because that way you guys can have some fun happy mail. So this is the Hardy soft clay in white. I also have black as well, but I think sometimes, you know, I get into the habit of the same stuff. Or not sometimes. I do get into the habit of the same stuff and I forget about other things that I used to enjoy. Like stuff like this. But it's not wet at all. It feels like foamy, if you will. All right. So you can see we're kind of taking some shape, and I have my fan full blast, and I'm not like stressing out because it's drying this out. Do you guys see? It's basically doing it all by itself. See how that's going to... I can't see anything. Why? The camera never used to be in my way before. I just don't understand why it's in my way now. Just going to thin that out. And I'm just, as I'm thinning it, I'm pulling it down. It's very forgiving. So I kind of just like that the way that it is by itself. We may just lob that off and connect that one like that. I think we will. Yes, it will dry. So let's make sure my wire is cut, and then I am going to actually bend that one kind of like that. There's no, be a little realistic. And then let's... Look at how cool that is. So what I'm looking at is this one right here, where that is just kind of cut off right there, right? So we're going to give that little continuation there, and I'm going to bend the wire. Pops, you haven't even come over and said hi to everybody yet. I love you too, you sweet little man, you. All right, so let's take that one right there. And no, I'm not going to leave it on the ghost like that. I just am trying, we'll clean up all of that once we get all of them down. But let's turn that a little bit. Remember, we've got the wire in there, so we'll be able to manipulate that however we want. Okay. Hi, Sandy. Okay, so now this one, all right, this one will be a little bit shorter. That's got a big old thing on there. Oh, hey, I forgot. We already put some on that. Well, let's finish that one. All right. Let's pull some of that off. And same thing like any other clay. If you need more, just, work it in there. Oh, I gotta turn this fan off or down or something. I don't know what's been happening. You guys know the last like little bit I've been complaining about my eye leaking. And I changed my mascara. I was like, oh, maybe my mascara's gone off, but I'm really pretty good about every month changing it. I'm like, I don't know, maybe, but it's not it. So obviously, when my eye is leaking, it makes my nose run. Papas? Sound like he dropped like a rock on my head. Oh my goodness, y'all. So yesterday, Nick had the Bronco and the Civic detailed. And, when they're detailing stuff, they move the seats around and all that stuff. Well, the lever that you have to raise or lower the steering wheel? Well, I don't know why on earth they did this, but anyways, they lowered the lever and they never, raised it back, and they had the seat pushed all the way forward. Now, those of you who know I'm a very tall person. I have very long legs. I'm 5'9". And when you have the seat up to, the steering wheel, and I'm not used to it. So anyways, I get in and I literally knocked my kneecap on that lever so stinking hard that pain shot all the way down to the bottom of my foot. And a lot of choice words were coming out, y'all. A lot of choice words were coming out. And all I hear in the back is Troy laughing at me because he thought it was so funny that I was hooting and hollering and yelling and all that stuff. Yep. Yep. All right, and then let's take a little bit of this down. Yeah, he had no mercy. He thought it was just the funniest doggone thing, y'all. He just thought it was hilarious. And, the whole time, the only thing coming out of my mouth is, besides all the choice words at first, were, "It's not funny, Troy." And, which causes Troy then to laugh even more because he thinks it's even funnier when you yell and tell him that it's not funny. Yeah. Yeah, Mary Sharkey. And they have this, so the steering wheel is here and the bottom of the seat was probably, but and what I don't understand is usually when I use my remote, it automatically knows that it's me and not Trevor. And it has the programming for, 1, 2, whatever. So usually the seat, well, I guess that's not true because until you turn the car on, it doesn't adjust. But they just had that thing so doggone close that, man alive, it hurt. It literally felt like that lever went underneath my kneecap. And yeah, I was not happy about it at all, if you could imagine. All right, we need this one to be really kind of about as small as the wire itself and not as thick. And if you guys are noticing, I'm not concentrating on making it very smooth because it's it's not supposed to be, right? It would look really strange. So I'm letting all the indents from my fingers and whatnot just kind of stay. Pull some of that off. Actually, I'm going to pull it down because I need more. But yeah. So when Trevor got in the car, though, on the other side, he got in the car and the other side was also pushed up as well. And I just kind of, I shook my head and I said, yeah, they moved the seats up. My bad. I should have probably told you. I said, because they just took off my kneecap earlier. All right, I'm just going to use some clay tools because I need some of these to be really tiny branches. And when I did the dinosaur claw, I actually cut into this with scissors, and that's how I made like the scales. I actually had my friend Leanne, who introduced me to this clay years and years ago. She's the one who was telling me how to make the scales and how to, cut into it and do all of that. And I was like, cut into it with like scissors? All right. So let's get in there. It might even be kind of cool for us to, I have a little owl. I think I sent that mold to somebody, maybe Treese. I have a little owl. It might even be cool to put the little owl in the tree. Oh, throwing my jewelry. What happened? What are you saying? The price for the Hardy clay? Now I'm like hot. I can't make up my mind. Hot, cold. That's what happens with personal summers. Just really just wrong. Let's make that one like really funky. Now, whenever I'm working with the Jovi clay, you guys know that I always say like water is your friend with that one. I don't know that I mean, you could use a little bit of water to like smooth some areas out. Like we'll probably use some water. Well, actually, let's get a little bit just on like my silicone, just to kind of, like shape some things and then kind of push it down. But you will notice like it doesn't behave like Jovi or even, DOS for that matter when you use water with this. Some of the wire is what you're seeing here, but remember I have to paint this as well, so I'm not so worried about some of the wire showing. We'll stick that one in a minute. We're getting there. We're getting there. actually probably take it up, and then we'll do another little one over here. You really like the tree? Do you guys see what I was saying though? Like the way that it was before was super cute, but it just like, I don't know, it was kind of It's just It was cute, but it needed something else to it. Now, the only reason why I'm putting the wire in is just so I can lift it up and kind of bend them in different angles. You totally don't need to put the wire in there if you didn't want to. Every time I look up, the numbers drop lower. It's just like funny. They're like, what is she doing? I'm out of here. Bye. See you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Where's our little? I know we have. Oh, yeah. I see. I knew we had wire in one of these. That's what I do. I do that all the time. Like if I try to do that. Let me just say that because Troy, if he sees that I have left my phone somewhere, like on one of the mini stands we have through the house, he will take it off the stand and bring it to me. But I wear an earbud, and I always play it in the background. Okay, that one's just a little bit too short, Terry. Like, really, seriously? And then if somebody's doing something that I like, whatever they're saying, and then if they're doing something that I'm like, ooh, what are they doing? I have to go running back to find the phone. A lot of the times I don't remember where the phone is. Let's give that one thin that out a little bit. Yeah, exactly. See, the number just keeps dropping and dropping. Y'all don't like clay or something? Actually, the only reason why I'm looking at the numbers because it, when it drops like that, it always makes me feel like the book has kicked me off. But I can see over here it's not. Okay, this one, no, we're going to have this one go to the little housey house. Housey house. Comes in a stick. How cool is that? Now, we'll have to figure out what we're doing right here because right now it looks like he's holding, holding something. So we'll figure that out in a minute. But I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. A lot. So I will pick it up in a minute and fine tune stuff. I'm just trying to get the shapes down. Right, we're not going to put any wire in here. Let's see if we... A little wormy. A little wormy. Okay. Thank you, Terry. Put a pumpkin next to the ghost. Pumpkin. Pumpkin? A pumpkin. A little pumpkin. So now we aren't doing any wire in these. We're just literally getting like the little spriggy sprigs that come off. And then, whoa, whoa, whoa. See, like, I think things like this just, I don't know. I enjoy doing it, and then it's just a way just to take it a little bit further than what it was. You know what I'm saying? I like it. No, there's no residue on my hands. It's not wet at all. You guys know, as soon as I would have grabbed even though you don't need to need the Jovi clay, you will, as soon as you squeeze it, you're going to have the clay dust. That's not how this is. I'm actually going to pull that off, and then I'm just going to I got my big head in the screen. My bad. Oh, sorry, punched you. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. I don't think we really need to put anything else on there. So let's just kind of fine tune what's happening over here. And then we'll get some glue and glue that down and glue all the pieces on. So I'm going to make that a little bit thinner, and then we need to blend some of these areas. And obviously when we're coloring this with the paint, it will help us, in that area as well. So it doesn't look like it's coming out of him, if you will. I'll leave a little bit of a gap, but not so much. It's very, very tiny. All right. And then I know we lost a little branch over here. That's fine. We'll have to get that back on. All right. So I am going to grab my heavy bolty gel. Oh man, if anything's gonna get on my hands, it's gonna be this. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. Hi, Miss Luca. How are you? So good to see you. You think it's coming tomorrow already? Holy smoking olies. That's awesome. All right, so I'm going to use a little bit of water. A little bit of water. These are just basic clay tools. I have a whole box of them over here. And then we'll show you what we're going to do. Again, if you don't like that some of the, wire is showing, then just cover it. I will cover it, but again, I really don't much care. It's the branch, so texture and all that other stuff is not a bad thing. But you know, again, I like all of the, I will not squish it down so much though. Let's kind of round that out just a little bit. But remember, when we paint it and everything else, and we have all that texture going on and the, you know, irregular bits and bobs, I think that's going to look a lot better than having a smooth tree. I think it'll be strange, but you know, you do whatever makes you happy. All right, so let's pick up the main part of this. And I'm going to get a brusher that I don't like the Leica so much. I go through gloves, something terrible using clay. Yes, the clay is in my Amazon store. I made sure to add it. The purse and everything. I made sure to add all of that stuff so that way you guys can go looking for it. It's already there. All right, so I'm going to just put it on kind of the main bits of this. I'm not going to be concerned with the branches so much, and you'll see why in a minute. All right, so let's get this Mama Jamma down. And again, it's going to be important that we leave that gap, because I don't want it looking like it's coming out of his head. All right, and so the main part of that is getting pushed down. Actually, you can see it is not touching the other board, and that's the whole reason why the wire is in there. I don't want it to touch the board, but we are going to strengthen it just in case somebody knocks it off of wherever it is. It's not going to go flying. All right, and then this Mama Jamma is going to go there. Let's pick that up. Please don't get on my hand. Please don't get on my hand. Be one with the heavy body gel. Please don't get on my hand. Beg of you. No. Be nice. Don't get on my hand. Thank you kindly. All right. Let's stick that into that there. Oh, let's go this way so it doesn't. And then we're going to push down that. Let's get that off of there. Hey, Terry, I'm finally using my rice paper. Oh, you got the good stuff. I love those that she did. Love them. Remember when she showed me when she was making those? I was just like, yes, ma'am. All right. Okay. Look at how cool that is. And it's not even painted yet. Now, I will tell you that it's already starting to dry out because it has been sitting out here. So I, for now, am going to be done with, and look at, we didn't use hardly any of that. So I'm not mad at myself later. I am going to fold it up just for a minute and stick it in a cellophane bag just for now. I think we're going to pull it back out in a second, but until then. Okay, so if you wanted to brush it on with the heavy body gel, you could. But I'm going to use the 3D gloss gel. I'm going to tell you right now, that's Amazon, and he does not have a phone case for Troy. Troy's going to come down here on a whole nother level. All right, one moment. I need to catch my nose because it's driving me nuts as usual. Oh, and the funny thing is you know all of these little thingamaboppers? Look at, I have apples. I'm betting anything there are pumpkins in here because I know I have a bunch of fall stuff. But look at, there's pumpkins in there. But I'm pretty sure I might even have a bat or something. I'm pretty positive I do. Oh man, I need wipes. Hold on, y'all. Talk about unorganized. Holy guacamole. I already hear the boy coming down the stairs. So, you already know he's going to be on a whole nother level. Okay, I need to wipe my hands because I just popped my nose. And I'm not trying to be disgusting or nothing. Okay, now let's open this. I think I might be putting up my first. Really? Hi, Deborah. Thank you. All right, let's see. Excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me. I need water. Thank you kindly. Some of the ones here that are just a little bit too smooth, I'm just going to add a little bit of texture so that way when we're painting, again, we're not on like this really smooth surface and it doesn't look all kind of crazy. This one's probably a little bit overkill, but I can tell this little guy doesn't want to stay, so let's just do this. Hi. Can I help you? Can I help you, sir? I know, Bubs. I know. But so now we don't have wire in this one. Is PT time? Okay. Hi, Cheryl. Can you hold it up to camera, please? Hi, Trish. How are you? Can I hold what up to the camera? The whole thing? Zoom in. Oh, my bad. Sorry. Sorry. Okay. So let's take some of our 3D gloss gel. Again, this one is sold out. It redesigned as well, but I do have it in these squeezy tubes. I know, Papas. And we are just going to just brush it on the entirety of the branches. Especially where I've connected. Ooh, mamma mia. Mamma mia. Especially where I've connected it. Because we just want to make sure that, you know, number one, we give it a little bit more reinforcement. And number two, they're not going to come off. ¿Qué dónde? What the mother? Oh my goodness. Let's say, what the mother, father? How did it leave me so fast? So you see now that one's blended in and connected. But do you see this one is not? It literally looks like it's sitting on top and looks very strange. So I would not want that to come apart from the branch later. So I'm going to put on some 3D gloss gel. And then we're just going to take the little smoother ball and blend those two together. Okay, that one's gonna scare me. So, because there's no wire in that one, I specifically didn't put wire in that one. So we're just going to take a little bit of the heavy body gel and go ahead and make sure that this one doesn't go anywhere. But I will still leave it lifted. If you can see, it's not attached to the board here. But as long as most of it is attached, then I'll be okay with it not the top of it, you know, doing its thing. Chicken wing. Okay. Did you save the house paper? You can fussy cut the bat wing. Didn't I demolish that paper though? Because I put this, which by the way, can we just talk about how good that looks down there? You guys can't even tell that there's like so many pieces of paper down there, can you? I'm telling you, rice paper is magic. Now, I'm also, if you can see, I know it's hard because it's white on white, but there's some of the gloss that I'm not smoothing down for even more texture and lumpy bumpies on here, which I want on the branch. If you wanted to take like your structure paste, that would be actually really cool to put some of the structure paste on here for some more texture. Okay, that's another one that we added, so let's make sure that one isn't going to go anywhere. So we're just going to give it a little bit more reinforcement. This is another one that I added, I can tell. So again, so we might take some of the sand structure paste just to add some something on here. But I'm intentionally not smoothing down the gloss gel because I want for whenever we paint it and we put the wax on it to grab all of this texture. Okay, that one is very, very smooth. It looks really strange. I don't even know how much. This one, same thing. Let's get some of the structure and put a little bit of the sand on there. I'm trying to think, Mary, what did I do with those scraps? Because I thought all of the scraps were sitting here, but if it was too small, I might have tossed it because this is obviously the paper. Oh my gosh, I have so many scraps here. Hold on. I could do that with the wing. Or we could just make it. My bracelet fall off. What the mother father is happening? Okay, let's dry this just a little bit. And then we're going to play with the, we're going to play with a little bit. We'll leave that out because we probably are going to need that. We'll play with a little bit of the sand paste. Thanks, Phyllis. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you for sprinkling, Trish. All right, let's back you guys out so you're not all up in there. See, just adding that little bit. We are going to have to do something over here, though, because now it's very off balance. But how cool is that? You can see that it's off the board. Okay, we're just going to use a little bit of this, and I will put it out on here to see if you guys can even see the texture and the grit. I don't know if you guys can even hear it, but let's see. Can you hear the sand grit in there? So it's very cool, but let's take So on these pieces that are very smooth out here and just kind of don't fit the same texture as the rest of it, just for kicks and giggles, we're going to add a little bit of the sand on here. So that way they don't stick out and look really strange. That these are super smooth. And also, we can even take it and add it on some of the places that we might see the wire. We're just going to lift that one up just a little bit. I don't know, you could literally play and do all the things. Hi, Kiki. Again, the more satisfying part is going to be whenever we are able to get the actual paints and whatnots on there. Okay, I think between the texture from the 3D gloss gel and then now some of the sand being on there, if there was green in here, we could very much so put some of the moss effect on here and make it look like there was moss on the tree. Oh my gosh, y'all. You could do so much. So much. Okay, I don't know if you can even see all the texture and everything else that's happening on the tree because it's white. So easy. Okay. Hi, Kimberly. How are you? Hi, Cindy Truitt. All right, so our tree has the hardy clay. It has some of the heavy body gel to help it stick down. We added the 3D gloss gel just to give it a little bit more reinforcement and structure to to it itself. And then we just added a little bit of the sand, which is gritty. And then that will give us a lot of depth and dimension when we start adding our color. Over here, though, we have an issue because now it's very off balance. We have some paper we need to get off and some stick down a little bit better. Oh, it needs to be gaitered off. But over here now we have something that's off balance. But I'm not sure what we're going to do to that. So we need to think on that and figure something out on this side. Let's put this in front of the fan. Is she in my way? She's in my way. So let's put this in front of the fan and get the box up here. And hold on, before we do that, see you later, alligator. Okay, hold on a minute. Let's see something really quick. I don't want any of those. Whoop! What are these? Flowers. There's a witch's hat in that one. I think Witch's Brew only has the witch's hat in there. I don't think there's any bats in this one. If they are, they're really tiny, which isn't a bad thing. Oh, please. Oh, please. Yeah, this is all the cauldron and the hat. I don't think there's any bats in this one. That's not even on there tight. I thought I'd remembered that there was bats in one of them, but I could be wrong. Flying steampunk. Maybe I was just thinking of the witch one. Now that I have these all sideways and the wrong way. Okay. I know that I have bat molds though, so if we wanted to do something like that. All right, let's put this back in front. Oh, let's put this in front of the fan and let it do its thing. And then let's get, I actually need you to sit up like that so you can get dry. There we go. Okay. Hi, Patty. I would put a bow on the other side with lots of tails. A bow with tails. Oh, what am I doing? Okay, so you guys remember the box? We did the clay. We're going to go around this with some dark wax and see if that will take care of where it's not painted. If not, I'm going to have to bust out the paint. I was really hoping that I didn't have to do that, but that, and that's why, you know, I usually never ever paint the same day, because clay, it's going to shrink, it's going to do its thing, and, you know, so the next day I always am putting like that, the Ranger paste in there or what have you. So by doing it the same day, it just kind of rushed the process. Okay. Now, this is what I wanted to do on that day because I had no patience. But because it was wet, I refrained. Okay, let's get another one of my Dollar Tree little disposable towels. Hi, Celeste. How are you? A bow on the other side, like a sideways bow? Or what do you mean a bow? Because it doesn't have much, like, room. Are you saying, like, ribbon so that it hangs off the left side from the little spindle at the top? Maybe that's what she meant. She's like, stop talking to me, Terry. I'm trying to leave. All right. Okay, let's get this, and I'm going to intentionally get in there and hopefully not have to bust out the paint. So if you remember the day that we left, we were doing the bottom part, so I wasn't able to get up here and do any of this because the clay was still very wet. So we're just gonna come in. Remember, we put all that texture up here, so we'll go in with our dark wax. And you can wipe back as much or as little as you like. And then we'll get our waxes. I don't know. I don't know what you guys think, but it just looks so good when you add like the dark and you put the depth in there. And then when you finish off with all your highlights and what else you're going to do, it just, I don't know. It's just satisfying. Hi, Sybil. Thank you for sprinkling. On this edge, it pulled away too, but it looks like the wax is going to take care of it, so. And then we did dry brush with the white acrylic paint as well. Oh, you guys, on Saturday, don't forget, so Creative Hour is going to so Creative Hour usually starts for me at 12 o'clock, right? But we're actually going to start the event at 10 o'clock my time, so 1 o'clock Eastern. So don't forget, we're going to start earlier on Saturday. But make sure you guys do all the things on Saturday because you have a chance to win a mystery box like the creator is using. And everybody's box will be a little bit different. So whoever's live you win on, you'll win. So if you're like, you won on Justin's live, you're going to get an exact replica of Justin's mystery box, and then Lindy, and so on and so on. So that's going to be so much fun for you guys to be able to create whatever, you can with whatever's in the box. And then there also is going to be a little special something that's happening that day. So I'm not sure. Maybe when Megan's here on Friday, we'll see if we can give inside info to y'all. Look at how cool that looks. Ugh. About some other details that's happening that day. Wouldn't that be so cool to like get your own like mystery box, and then because there's no you can put it together and do what you know. You can act like, okay, if I were to open this box, what am I going to do with this? And kind of challenge yourself to see what you would do with it. I think it would be so super fun. But so there's going to be 7 opportunities because each creator, each live, we're going to be doing, hence why Megan needs to learn how to do the wheel. So there's going to be 7 wheels, right? All right, let's get a little bit of wax. So I just think it's going to be amazing. And then, like I said, there's a couple of surprises that are going to happen that day that maybe Megan will give inside info. We'll see if she gives inside info when she's here on Friday, if we're allowed. Okay, you guys know this is my favorite. This is what's in the kit. Yvette's kit. This is the white gold. And we're going to go around, and that's the only thing when you have texture on the top like that, your rag will also grab the texture. We're going to go around, and for the mold, I'm going to kind of choke up a little closer to the bristles, which means I want a little more. So now we're just going to come and give a little bit of highlights to the mold. But nothing's real stark at first. And then let's also go around a little bit on the corners. And if you're really heavy-handed, then hold it further back on the handle. If you already put a lot down, then you don't need to choke up on the ferrule. Hey, what are you doing in there? Oh, thank you so much. Hi, Rochelle. Oh, no way. I still have that head full of flowers. Actually, it's holding all of my flowers now. That head that Brioni sent to me. It's just holding all of the flowers right now. Because I'm pretty sure I didn't glue those flowers in. I think it's just, they're just sitting in there. Don't forget to open it. Okay. Now for up here, You could go in with the white gold as well. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to take some of that pearl white because I quite like the grunginess of it and how it's kind of just dark. But I do want some of, because remember this is going on the inner part there. So let's take a little bit of the white pearl. And now I am going to hold out. I'm not going to choke up. And let's just, oh yeah. So I was trying to decide if I just wanted it in the middle. But I don't. That was kind of a no-brainer. So we're going to pick up very lightly. Some of it will just go ahead and let it sit in the background. Just to bring forward all of that texture that we very, very first put on. Hi, Miss Donna Sue. Hi, Kathy. How are you? Okay. So you can see it kind of brought back our dry brushing from the white. Okay, so we clipped off the little top because we're going to end up having to put like a mold or something around here anyways. Now, I guess the big question is, what are we going to do under there? Should it be should we do like a shaker under there, or should we put, you know what I was wondering? Because remember Sue was saying something about like the dried baby's breath under there. I'm looking at color, y'all. I'm not necessarily looking at those. I'm just looking at the color. So we have these pebbles. I'm trying to think what else would be cool under there besides just doing the shakers, I guess. Whoa. This is why it's always a mess on my table, because I have to end up with a ton of draws out. Again, with the wrapping. I don't know why they wrapped these. is with that one little branch. And I also know that I have other dried flowers, the flat ones. See, these don't, the bunches, the bunch that it's doing here is not working for me. I don't know why they tied them like that. There's so many lights, it's hard for you guys to see anything. Let's see what's happening over here. Oh my gosh. That is dry. Oh, I'm so excited. I don't even know where I would look. Because I have pressed flowers. Okay, bye, Sandy Kling. Yeah, see, that's too white, so I think I like the off-white. So just put in a few of those in there by themselves. Now, I wonder, because they are the real little flowers, so I'm wondering how they're going to fare in there. I don't mind all the little loose ones because I think it would be kind of cool to have them in there, but of course they're all intertangled with the red or the burgundy or whatever color this is. It looks pretty cool, right? I'll bring it back over here in just a minute, but it's pretty well dried now. I don't know, are we mad at the little bits of red in there, or should it all just be neutral? Just don't know why they did that. They're so delicate that when you break them, they all break. I'm actually not mad at that at all. You like the little bits of red? Just a little, because I don't know if you can tell, but they're little buds. Can you see? They are actual little flower buds. I don't know where that green came from. It came from somewhere, but let's put in these and see. See, I think that's pretty. Just having a little bit in there. And then whatever we put around the outside, it could even be like something really tiny, you know what I mean? Because we need to cover up the outside. I don't know if we do something like this or if we put more clay around it, which we might, because this is going to kind of take it over the top by putting bling on it. But I like, hi Sandy Hinkleman, I like the little bits of red in there too. I like just the buds though. I don't necessarily want the flower themselves. I like just the buds in there. So okay. Okay. So tomorrow what we will do is we'll glue, or actually I could probably glue. No, I'll glue it down tomorrow. Because of the texture, there's a little bit of space that I can see in some areas because of the texture from the box. So we're going to have to put the clay on there to lock it in. Yeah, I like that. Then we'll put clay around it to lock it in, and then maybe, I don't know, we do something at the very top with the clay. We'll see what else is on that. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a minute. It only took me 7 years, but I do finally have my very own Timeless Ties mold. What? So maybe we'll take one of these little ties and we'll droop that over the top, on top of the mold, the mold on the outside. I think that'll work. So we'll get the Regal Flourish mold and we'll put that around the outside because we have to lock it in, because especially down here, there's a big enough gap. You see my nail can get under there, that those little bitty bits of flowers will come out. And I think that would be super cute to do like one of the ribbon that has the droopies, you know, and put that right on the top. Yes, that'll work. I know. Can you believe it? I finally got it. Mini Christmas. Okay. And then, so, I'm going to need to put this up high because Troy will come over here and take over my desk, and then he will knock that off and all my flowers will go rolling. So let's move that over and then bring this over here. And let's just, oh yeah, look at that. Can you hear that? It's nice and sturdy. Sturdy, sturdy. Oh yeah. And then you can, I don't know if you can see the texture of the peaks on here from the sand. That is going to be so cool to paint that. So tomorrow we are actually finally close to finishing these. I can't see my comments over there. So we have to paint this tomorrow. I don't know. We'll reevaluate what may or may not need to come over here to this side. Maybe when we paint it, it won't look so off balance, but right now it looks a little bit of whack. It looks a little lopsided, but I don't know. Once we get it painted and everything kind of like, you know, molds together, then maybe it won't be so lopsided to me. We'll see. And then we'll add the little bit of clay on the box. And yeah, then I think these will finally be done. Yay! Alrighty, y'all. I hope you guys have a fantabulous rest of your hump day. I will see you back here tomorrow. Same time, same place. I'm excited to finish the tree. There's never enough time. I really want to paint the tree now, but I'll be patient. You guys know I'm really hard with that, but I'll try. Alrighty, everybody. Have a good rest of your evening. I'll see you back here tomorrow, same time, same place. Talk to you later. Bye.